Coming to you from my home office located about a dozen miles from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Museum in Cleveland, Ohio, I'm Bob Rubart with the Oracle Groundbreakers team, and here to talk about how he's lending his skills to help solve a problem associated with the coronavirus pandemic is Scott Spendolini. How you doing, Scott?
Not too bad, Bob. Yourself?
I'm doing just fine, I think. Where do you work and what do you do?
Sure. I work at a company called Viscosity, headquartered out of Dallas. And I run our Apex practice. So we have roughly 15 or so Apex developers that build Apex applications every day, solving our customers' problems.
Tell me the story behind the, what's this, the grocery?
Daily grocery status.
Daily grocery status. Tell me the story behind that.
Sure. So, in addition to spending, most of my waking hours helping our customers, I think it was 2 weekends ago. Woke up early Sunday morning, 6:30, 7 a.m. No one else in the house was awake. So I just decided to tinker a little bit with Apex 19.2, the free tier, the Oracle Cloud free tier, and a Google Maps plugin written by someone named Jeff Kemp. And just played with it and figured, hey, this might actually work to help people figure out where to get stuff. Because as you're probably aware, toilet paper is pretty short right now. Paper towel, sanitizer, depending on the location in the day, it's kind of hit or miss. So I thought, what if I could build a quick Apex app that when you walk out of the grocery store, you could just update a very simple form that says, yes, there's toilet paper at this HEB. There's no produce though. Once we get enough of those reports, we could then show you one store that you may never, ever have gone to in the past, but might only be a few miles from your normal store that has all the staples that you need. So sure, you're driving 4 miles instead of 1 or 5 miles instead of 2, but you're making one stop, limiting your exposure, which obviously is a good thing in a time like this.
So is there an open source aspect to this? Because I noticed in looking at the app myself that there are several cities that are available in there. How do new cities get added to it and that information then updated?
Anybody can add what I call a metro area. This is a lot of, the learn by doing. Originally, when I launched it, I was the only one who could add one, but I got a flood of emails saying, can you add Dallas? Can you add LA? Can you add Phoenix? So what I did was make it possible for people to add their own metro area. What's happening, particularly here in Austin, where I've done a lot of the marketing on Facebook and Nextdoor and all the local sites, is people are starting to get a little too hyper-local. So I need to figure out a way to make a metro area consolidate stuff. Because what's happening is I live in Lakeway, but someone created Bee Cave, which is another really small town next to Lakeway, which is also a really small town. Really, it's Austin. My last grocery pickup was a 15-mile drive because that was the only place that had everything we needed. So it's just, there are no requirements. The requirements are being dictated by the usage patterns and the users that are using it. So I just adjust to those.
In adding a new metro area, that requires some Apex skill?
It's just a simple form on a table. What I needed to do, and this was the only hard part, and by hard I mean it took an extra 10 minutes, is when you create a metro area, I need to figure out the lat long so I could focus the map on that metro area. And there's a Google Place API, and there's also a plugin that integrates with Google Places. So when I type in Cleveland, Ohio, it'll return the lat long of the center of Cleveland. That'll show up on the map.
Yeah. Do you have any idea how many people are using this thing so far?
I do, because I have some pretty detailed analytics on it. They're all anonymized, so I really don't know who specifically is using it. But if we look at today, there's been over almost 600 page views in the past hour. We're probably getting a sustained rate of maybe 250 to 300 page views per hour. It just kind of ebbs and flows with the day, right, as people wake up and whatnot.
So people are definitely taking advantage of this.
The nicest note I got was a woman on Nextdoor, and I don't really frequent Nextdoor all that much. It's for obvious reasons, but I did post it out there, and the woman was just super gracious. She said that she herself is immunocompromised. She doesn't go to the store. She has a friend that does, but that means she goes to the stores too.
Yeah.
And because she could tell her friend, hey, check this store, it has everything I need, she's reducing the number of trips, thus reducing her exposure.
Yeah.
So that one comment alone just made all the hours and the time that I've put into it worth it.
I can imagine. Can you demonstrate the app for us?
Happy to. So here's the homepage. If you go to dailygrocerystatus.com, it'll direct you here. If you visited one of the metro areas, it'll direct you there, right? The whole point being, you don't care about India if you're in Texas and vice versa, right? We want to get you exactly where you want to be and then keep you there. So we just made that little redirect happen. If I live in California, just click California, and these are the 3 metro areas that California has. I don't care about the rest. I don't care about the noise. Or if I live in India, I just click India, and I didn't add any of these. Different people, obviously, in the Indian community have added these and have put some updates there as well. So let's kind of focus here on Austin, which tends to get the most usage just because I'll go in and update it, and there's a bunch of other local folks that are updating it as well. So the first thing I do is click on Austin, and then there's really 2 different functions of the app. I'm at a store, and I want to make sure that I update what supply levels of what items were at the store that I just saw, or I'm going to try to find some items at a store. So let's go ahead and try to find some stuff first. Over here on the left, again, this is a faceted search where if I click meat, you're going to see the map refocus and show the 5 areas that have had a report, and we keep it down to 2 days. Maybe 1 day would probably be even more accurate, but I want to at least give people a sense that this data changes. 3, 4, 5 days ago was useless data. 2 days is probably on the edge, but today is kind of what I really want to know. If I click on a store, it's going to give me a little details about that store. So this is an HEB. If I want to know where it is, just click on the link. That'll dump me over in Google Maps. I can then plug in my address to drive there, flip it over to my phone, put it on my GPS system. But you can see here that bread and eggs seem to be pretty well stocked. No info about flour. Doesn't mean they don't have it. It means that this person just didn't check flour. So there's a way to just say, I don't know. Okay. But obviously we're out of sanitizer and toilet paper. Last update was about 2 days ago. So what I could do is click on store info and see if there's any more details here. Maybe there's some comments, and it looked like people are starting to add comments here. So 3 days ago, they're very well stocked, so it's good to know. No paper towels, no olive oil. I can't track every item, so people will add their own little narratives here. No cleaning products except dish soap, etc. So that's great. What we also allow the stores to do is if I'm a store owner, I can click on this print a QR code. And I know QR codes are kind of hokey, but they really are, I think, morphing a little bit to become more useful. This is calling AOP, Apex Office Print. And let me go ahead and see if I can share this screen here briefly. So what this is something that the store could actually print and put on the exit door. All I would need to do is grab my phone, scan that QR code, and it will automatically redirect me to the update status screen for this HEB at 2301 Ranch Road 620 South.
Nice.
So I've tried to remove every bit of friction from people helping update the site by making it just really, really easy to do.
Impressive.
So let's say also looking for milk. What'll happen now is it's doing an and here, right? The whole goal of this is to show me where can I go for a one-stop shop. So as I start figuring out what it is that I need, you may see some of these stores drop off entirely. So if my list includes those 5 staples, I'm down to north of Austin or south of Austin. So I just look at the stores, decide based on the neighborhood, the travel time, the overall, availability. This one looks really good. It has pretty much everything. And that's a pretty fresh update, less than an hour, just over an hour ago. Let me go over here and check out the one in Round Rock. Okay, wow, they have toilet paper, right? That's a hot tip right now for anyone in Austin. If you need your teepee, go up to Sprouts, just north of Austin here. So let's say I go, right, and I'm not going to actually add this, but this is what the screen would look like to update the store. So I just grabbed the previous status. So if I went and I can confirm that all this is still true, I can go ahead and hit save report. It'll go ahead and update the system. Maybe I went and sanitizer and toilet paper are there, but it's pretty low. We can track that. And maybe I'm positive that, there's no more produce. For whatever reason, there was a run on that. I could also update any wait time that I waited for. So maybe there was a 30-minute line that I had to stand in to get into the store. And then any comments that I wanted to put in, I can go ahead and save that report. And it's instantly put in the system and available for anybody else who's searching. I mean, there's really not much more to it because there really doesn't have to be, I guess. It's a pretty simple, single-purpose system that really serves, two purposes. Record something or go ahead and search for some stuff.
Wow, that is really cool.
So let's get you up to speed here. I'm going to go ahead and add Cleveland.
Okay.
Right. All I got to do is select it and click Add Metro Area. Obviously, there's no stores here.
Right.
What I can do is go to Add a Status Report. We don't see your stores. So let's say we want to add a store. So all I need to do is pick a brand, kind of try to use the logos here to identify the store. Maybe you don't have it. We could then enter a location, so it'll automatically do a completion. I don't know if you know any of your grocery stores' addresses offhand here.
Not offhand, no.
But if we were to go and search for Cleveland grocery stores, right?
There, do that one. That's a very popular store right in downtown Cleveland.
So 900 Euclid, that's all I really need. I'm just going to paste that in, select it. I can give it a name. I can give it a phone number, a website, put any hours or any detail in here. And then once I create that, it's going to prompt me to go ahead and say, hey, you're probably there. Go ahead and say what it has. So let's say that we've got some flour, we've got some meat, a little bit low on milk. It was a 15-minute wait, clean store, not crowded. And I'll go ahead and remove this from our system once we do this. But just to show you now, when I go ahead and click Find Items, that store should pop up. And when I click on it, you can see all those details that I put in.
Very nice.
So it's easy to use. Hopefully there's no guide or instructions, right? It's like any other website out there. It's just hopefully really simple and people can get in there and start using it pretty quickly.
Well, plus I noticed too that the users aren't required to do an actual count of items. It's just stocked or low.
Yep. It's just as simple as I can make it. The comments can quantify there's coconut milk, but not soy milk, right?
Yeah.
It's at this point, and I think a lot of us are at that point where when you go to a store and you see, here's meat, it's not the kind I usually like, but it's better than nothing. I think that's what a lot of people are kind of dealing with right now.
That's amazing. Have you had any other ideas for similar apps?
Nothing yet. I mean, this one, it probably took a good maybe 2 to 3 days to build it all together, so after hours, weekends and stuff like that. We're working with customers who have not ideas, but like necessary changes to their business that we're implementing.
Sure.
This is my little analytics dashboard that I keep track of everything. So I can look at today, we've had 20 something inputs from Austin, or I can move this out to the week. There we go. And you can see all the different markets that have been reporting stuff, any feedback that's coming through the application, as well as page events. You can tell some sort of aggregator or index engine got a hold of me on the 29th. That's what that spike is. Or I could even zoom out further and look at full month's worth of data and find all my feedback here. If a metro area was created incorrectly, I can come in here and correct it. If a store brand needs to be added, I can go in and add it. I can upload the logo for that store. Even the store locations are all here. And this app here took no time at all to build. Threw it together. It's all basically interactive grids and a couple reports here. So if for whatever reason somebody put in some bad data or some weird data, I can come in here and correct it pretty quickly or delete it if it's inappropriate, I suppose.
Yeah. How much time have you spent just in maintenance and administrative tasks with this?
I try to go through and keep up the Austin area. There's a thread on Reddit every day where people just put in, details of what they found at what store. And that was kind of part of the inspiration is looking at that thread. Like, okay, this is really hard to use. It's all text. It kind of goes off topic. What if there was a declarative way, a more categorized way to take what everybody sees all day and put it into a place? So I don't know, maybe 5 to 10 minutes a day would probably be the amount of time I put into it on the admin side. More curiosity, I think, than anything else.
I'm sure. Well, Scott, this is really impressive, and hats off to you for coming up with a great app to satisfy a very clear need right now. So, and this is a daily grocery status is completely free and open to the public, right?
That's right. dailygrocerystatus.com is the URL.
Well, Scott Spendolini, take care of yourself and your family down there in Austin, Texas. Stay healthy. We'll do the same up here. And thank you for your time. For the Oracle Groundbreakers team, I'm Bob Rubart. Stay tuned.